So you've lost about 15% of your baseline weight with Wegovy, which is about the average we expect. And now you're probably wondering, well, if I switch to Zepbound, people lost 20% of their weight. So does that mean I can go from Wegovy to Zepbound and lose another 20% like it's a Black Friday deal? A bit of a spoiler alert, it doesn't quite work that way. And so today we are diving into what actually happens when you switch from Wegovy to Zepbound and how it's not actually like a stackable discount. But before we dive in, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I promise to keep giving you no BS science-backed information. First off, if you're a little bit new here, let's do a quick review as to what is the difference between Wegovy and Zepbound. Wegovy, or semaglutide, aka Ozempic, is a GLP-1 receptor agonist. What that means is it mimics our naturally produced GLP-1 hormone, which helps us to feel fuller more quickly and helps to decrease our food-seeking behaviors. Zepbound, or tirzepatide, aka Mounjaro, is a GLP-1 just like Wegovy, but it also has another component called GIP, which is another hormone our body naturally produces, but when we put the GLP-1 and GIP together, we not only get the same effects that we see with Wegovy, but we maybe get a little bit of a boost, and we may also get more efficient at burning fat. I mean, more hormones equals more power, right? And hey, are you ready to take control of your health and create a lasting change in terms of weight loss? If so, you need to sign up for my Empowerment Hub. This is an amazing community of people that involves live check-ins, expert guidance from me, as well as various challenges and tools and resources to support you along your health journey and to lose weight. And best of all, you can try it today risk-free for 7 days completely free. Dr. Dan's Empowerment Hub is about more than just weight loss. It's about creating confidence and the empowerment you need to create lasting changes. Everything you need to know is down below in the description. Go and check it out, and I can't wait to see you there. In the clinical trials, Zepbound led to, on average, about a 21% loss from baseline, whereas Wegovy led to about a 15% loss from baseline. And real quick, because I know some of you are wondering, what do I mean by percent loss from baseline? What I mean by this is that if your starting weight is about 250 pounds and you go and lose 15% of that baseline weight, that means you're going to lose about 37.5 pounds. If you lose 21% of that baseline weight, you're going to be losing about 52, 53 pounds. Cool? Capiche? We got it? So the big question of the day is, if I took Wegovy and lost 15% of my original baseline weight, if I then switch to Zepbound, does that mean I'm going to lose an additional 21% from that new baseline weight I've created with Wegovy? The short answer is no. The long answer is also no. And this is because the 21% weight loss that we saw with Zepbound in the clinical trials was from the original baseline weight, not from people who were already taking Wegovy and then switched over to Zepbound. Translation, if you lost 15% with Wegovy, you are not guaranteed to lose another 20% if you switch over to Zepbound. That's like expecting a new diet plan to help you lose another 30 pounds just because the first one did. So here's what actually happens when you switch. Some people might lose a little bit more weight if they were plateauing with Wegovy. They might lose that additional 6% difference between Wegovy and Zepbound, and so they'll lose a tiny bit more. They might lose that additional 6% difference between Wegovy and Zepbound and get a full 21% loss from their original baseline weight. Some people might not see any weight loss whatsoever, but they might find that it's easier to maintain this new lower weight with Zepbound versus Wegovy. And overall, some people see no changes whatsoever. Because here's the kicker. Your body is pretty darn smart, and it has already adapted to the original weight that you've lost, and it's going to fight against you tooth and nail to prevent you from losing further weight, even if you switch medications. Unfortunately, the process of losing weight is not a straightforward and linear process. You're not going to lose weight week after week after week until you decide, all right, I'm all done. It's more like trying to get that last little bit of toothpaste out of the toothpaste tube. And this is because your body adapts to weight loss in a number of ways. Not only as you become smaller, you just burn fewer calories by simply existing, but to a small degree, there can be a reduction in your overall metabolic rate, and it can be lower than what we would predict based on calculations for your current age, height, and weight and such. Weight loss is also going to cause an increase in your hunger and appetite hormones, so you're going to get more cravings, wanting X, Y, and Z food, and just in general be hungrier. It's also going to make sure that you are moving less. So it's either going to make you lazier or it's going to make you more fatigued during your workouts, so you just don't put in as much effort. This process is called metabolic adaptations, and it is why every diet, every medication, and every kind of weight loss hack that has ever been out there eventually doesn't become as effective in helping you to lose weight. And the more weight you lose, the more pronounced these effects become. Now, Zepbound might override some of those adaptations, but it's not a cheat code for infinite weight loss. So who then would actually benefit from going from Wegovy to Zepbound? And of course, it all depends. If you hit a plateau on Wegovy, yeah, maybe switching over to Zepbound might produce a greater amount of weight loss. If you had some side effects that were intolerable with Wegovy or just in general annoying, you might have a better response to Zepbound. And or you might find that Wegovy is just not that effective for you, and Zepbound might be the perfect antidote that you need for better managing your appetite and hunger. So those would be all the reasons to switch. The reasons not to switch would be if you've already lost 15 to 20% of your baseline weight and you're maintaining and doing well, switching over to Zepbound probably isn't going to provide any real additional benefit for you, or it's going to be extremely slow and continuing to bring weight off. And hey everyone, if you're currently living with a chronic condition like diabetes, obesity, hypertension, asthma, you name it, if you have a condition, I have got something for you. Blue Charm is a platform that rewards you for sharing your journey. You just download the Blue Charm app on the Google Play Store or the App Store, and you can earn $100 by completing one of their surveys. And here's the bonus just for you. If you use my code LYG4G8, you'll get an additional $5 with your $100. That's a total of about $105 for approximately 30 minutes of your time. So not only can you make a little extra money, but sharing your journey will help to drive and create new meaningful research around chronic conditions and helping people that are just like you. So if you're Canadian, check out Blue Charm, use my code LYG4G8 and start making some money today. Now, what about some people who are still taking Wegovy? Maybe you're on the max dose, and what you're finding is that you're starting to actually regain some of the weight. In this situation, yes, Zepbound certainly could be an option that you could transition over to kind of help you to either maintain the weight or lose a little bit more weight. But if you're finding that the weight is starting to go back up, we do need to look at what your current lifestyle patterns look like. And this isn't about you not having enough willpower or not white knuckling it enough. It's more about just making sure that you're nourishing your body with the protein and nutrients that it needs. It's making sure that you are actively engaging in activity and trying to build some muscle. It's doing all the necessary factors and things that go into the weight loss process to help you to keep that weight off long term. Now, if you decide to stop the medications altogether, you're probably going to regain the weight. Even if you've dialed everything in and are doing all the right things, your biology is baked into you from thousands upon thousands of years of evolution. And I hate to say it, you're probably not going to be the special individual that can override tens of thousands of years of evolution. And biology is always going to win. Now, if you stopped and then you're looking to jump back on Zepbound to kind of prevent that weight gain and such like that, yeah, it certainly might help out with that process. But unfortunately, with the process of stopping and starting, it's kind of like an extreme form of yo-yo dieting and can make further weight loss, even with Zepbound, more challenging. All right, now I want to hear from you. Have you switched from Wegovy to Zepbound or Zepbound to Wegovy? What happened? Did you have any side effects? How did things go? Let me know. Or maybe you're considering it, but you're a little bit hesitant. So if that's the case, or you have any other comments, ideas, or stories to share, drop it down below. I would love to hear from you and start a conversation. So what is the bottom line here? Switching from Wegovy to Zepbound isn't going to unlock a magical another 20% in loss of weight. If you've plateaued or maybe have a bit more weight to lose or didn't get a very good response with Wegovy, switching over might provide you a little bit more of an additional benefit. Regardless of what the case is and if you're considering switching, it doesn't really matter. The biggest thing is to continue to work with your care provider, not taking advice from a Reddit forum. All right, my friends, that is it and that is all. If you found this helpful, don't forget to smash that subscribe button to stay up to date on all of the weight loss medications and the science that goes behind them. Also, be sure to check out Dr. Dan's Empowerment Hub. It is your go-to resource for expert guidance, ongoing support, and to help you create a lasting change not only with your health, but also with your weight. Everything you need, from the links for the Empowerment Hub to my various social media channels and the products and such that I recommend, are down below in the description. Check it out, let me know your thoughts, and as I always like to sign off, please remember it is going to be the small tweaks that lead to your massive peaks.